What's good, chat? Today I got another tutorial video for y'all. I know I said I was going to stop with the tutorial videos, but man, I keep getting mad questions on how to do this and that. So for this video, it's probably going to be a 3-part video, and this video itself will be the basic of PvPing. So before I start on the combat system, the biggest mistake you fucking freshies stay doing is y'all never actually use a build you make and get used to it. Y'all stay trying out new styles, new skills, and new aptitude, etc. every day. What I recommend you guys do is either ask another player that's been playing for a bit for some tips on how to make your build, or you could just watch other YouTubers and see their builds and how they use it. Alright, here I'm going to be showing why I got the skills I got, and why I've been using this build for a while and getting more used to it. So first, your aptitudes matters sometimes. So for me, I got Condition Hulk, which allows me to get 2 of my skills back upon using a grab skill with a 90-second cooldown. There's other aptitudes that are good, and you could make a whole build around it. For example, Calculated Strikes, Gorilla Grips, Style Specialist, All-Rounder, etc. Before we start, I'll show you how my aptitude works. As you can see by using Crashing Force, it counts as a grab skills and it removes the cooldown on my Raging Blow and Sickle Sweep. So that's the only reason I got that grab skill in my bar. I used to use Shoulder Throw, but Crashing Force looks better and deals more damage. But if you don't have any aptitudes yet, just make sure you test around some skills you like, or wait for my next videos in the future about which skills are better than others. And I will be making Build Showcase soon, so you guys can have an idea on which build you like more. First, movement. The first thing you have to learn is stutter steps. Stutter step is when you just misdirect your movements left and right. In a tournament situation, this is allowed, but if you walk backward instead of left and right, they might consider that as running and you'll get disqualified. The main point of stutter stepping is to throw your enemies off balance, because the fighting system on MO is to kind of predict where your opponent is going to run toward to. So if you fake left, then cut right, you might throw your enemy in the wrong direction. Then you can follow up with it. If you're fighting someone and you realize they only have a left, basically they can only take off on their left side and they can't stutter step to their right. Then you use that to your advantage and keep catching them on the same side and punish them. And the next thing you need to practice is how to land your M1s. Once you get the hang of landing your M1s and starting combos with your M1s instead of depending on your skills, it'll make you a way better player. Different styles have different stuns. So if you see that you can land your M1s but they're not getting stunned enough to the point where you can't keep hitting them, then the style you're using might just be ass. So try a new style out. For example, between Taekwondo and Advanced Brawl, Taekwondo do have a lot more range, but the stun on it is kind of mid compared to Advanced Brawl. Advanced Brawl has trash range and speed, but the stun on it compared to Taekwondo is better. Alright chat, next we're going over blocking. It's so much easier than you think. It is not complicated at all. Just look at my keyboard and mouse. All you need to do is hold F, the block button, and press M1. You can kind of spam it, but make sure you kind of do it right as they are about to hit you. The window is pretty big. Once you get the hang of it, you'll realize that perfect blocking is so much more easier than you think. Also remember, if you see this logo at the bottom, it means that your perfect block is on cooldown, and if you try to do it, it won't work. Alright, next, counter. Counter is the same thing as perfect blocking, but instead of pressing M1, you press M2. When you land a counter, you can't really punish your opponent at all since they get knocked back compared to a perfect block where they're pretty much stunned. Also, so you guys don't get confused, you can only perfect block a guard break skill or a M2. But you can counter anything in the game though, such as M1s and guard breakers. Here I'll show that you can perfect block a guard break skill such as Shoulder Bash. But you're not able to PB a skill that doesn't guard break, such as Floor Quake, Me personally, I thought floor quake guard breaks, but apparently it doesn't. Shit's crazy. All right, so chat, next we got rhythm. A lot of people sleeps on rhythm and don't know how to quite truly use it, even me myself still trying to get the hang of it and how to charge it mid-fight. But the best way I'd recommend on charging rhythm is if you see that your opponent is playing extremely passive. In a sense, they're giving you time to rest. Make sure the first thing you do is charge the rhythm up. And to get better at it, get used to letting go of every keys before you press R. Because if not, then you'll accidentally switch into jogging mode. Next tip is, if you're above 50% stamina, you could utilize dashing with your stun skills. I don't know why mines here are missing, but in the middle of a fight, dashing forward with the stun skills usually always lands, and it gives you time to turn around and do a M1 combo. All right, this next part is the fun part. Now we're going over combo follow-ups, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But this might be a little hard to grasp at first, but once you get the hang of it, I promise you it'll change your PvP skill for the best. If you pay attention to my keyboard here at the bottom right, you can see that. As I'm hitting him, you need to be holding on to the W key. And right before you do the last M1, you need to kind of spam the Q key so that you dash forward in perfect time and then press M2 to land a heavy attack. Now hear me out real quick. Yes, this movement is pretty good, but it also has a downside. First, I'll show you the preferred scenario in which it goes in your favor. As you can see, if you fight someone that likes to hold the F button so much. After hitting them with this movement, you might make them never want to touch that F button again. Now here's the worst case scenario. Is you fighting someone that's for some goddamn fucking reason is a PB demon. I swear to God, these motherfuckers for some reason always do that shit so perfect. I suggest if you try it once and they PB, it don't ever try against them again, because they will not miss. And if they're comp enough, you will get touched real bad if they catch you in that PB, trust me. All right, next, the final thing we will go over today is called Afro dashing. This movement right here is not something I expect you guys to learn in a day or two. But once you get the hang of it, I promise you, you will not fight the same. I'm gonna allow Sensei Grim to demonstrate it as me myself is not very good at doing it fast. So as you can see, Afro dashing is kind of like the last movement I just showed, except instead of dashing and M2ing, this time you will have to actually pay attention to how many M1s you throw. As you can see, this movement is better than the last movement because it allows you to pull off more hits and a longer combo. And the chances of you getting punished for this are nearly 0%. Like Sensei Grim said, the best way to remember it is, you do 3 M1s, and as you're doing your last M1, you dash forward with it. You'll need to keep practicing it over and over until it becomes muscle memory for you. All right, that'll be it for the combat tutorial today. If anything I said did not make sense to you in this video, or you want more detail on it, just DM me on Discord or leave a comment down below, and I'll try to help you out as much as I can. But before we end the video, there's 2 things I need you guys to go over. First is to turn this setting off in your MO settings. That makes your camera shakes. I'm not even sure why the fuck this was even added, but it literally makes it impossible to play while your whole screen keeps fucking bouncing up and down. Okay, and the second thing is your style stance. Some people say some stance makes you have less range or more range, but it's all words from the mouth, it was never confirmed. But what I would suggest, though, is to use a style stance that feels right to you. Also try to use a stance that has little to no animation to it when you charge rhythm. Because it may not seem like a big deal at first, but when you try to charge rhythm and the animation has to play, I swear it just makes it feel like you did not gain any rhythm until seconds later. For an example, the Akuma stance. Yes, I know the stance might look cool and all, but just the way the animation is, when you start charging rhythm, it just makes it feel like it doesn't actually register. The rhythm is being charged until the whole animation is played through, which then makes it really annoying to charge rhythm in the middle of fights because you can't stand for long to charge it. It needs to be quick. But anyways, chat, that'll be all for today's video. The next part coming out will be more advanced and talking more about combos, special movement, and other stuff of that nature. If you guys got any suggestion on what type of videos or other games you guys want me to play, just comment it down below and I'll try my best to read them all and make more videos. Or you can also always ping me in the main Discord server about anything. Also, if you're interested in joining my org, just holla at me and I'll send an invite to the server and you just follow the instructions and stuff like that.